Thanks for tuning in to the Vintage Cinema Review. On this week's episode, we're covering from 1987, The Lost Boys.
With Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. It ain't the innocent boys from Wonderland anymore.
No, Sam and Michael are two all-American teens. One's into comic books, one's into Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, this was a listener pick, but also Matt's pick.
Yeah, I like this
one.
one.
Lost Boys. We hope you enjoyed. Speaking of which, if you are, leave us that 5-star rating on Spotify, on Apple. Leave us a written review. And sit back, relax, and enjoy from 1987, The Lost Boys. Hey, this is Dave.
Matt.
And Zap.
And welcome to the Vintage Cinema Review.
Where every week we review some of our favorite films from the past.
Hey, there ain't no late fees here.
Silence is golden. And be kind. Rewind.
Oh, it's dark in here. I seem to be lost. What up, boys?
What's up, man?
Nice. It's always dark in the movie theater in the basement.
It is.
Yeah, Matt's loading it up today. What you got?
We have The Lost Boys.
An 80s classic.
80 what? 6, 87?
87.
87.
You know, I slept on this for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah,
for real.
I didn't see this. Well, I guess it's not the longest time. So if it came out in 87, early high school at best, early high school. So early 90s.
I know I saw it like back when I was younger, like probably a year after it came out. And I remember I didn't like it as much back then because I think it was a little too stylistic for me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was different.
Well, like 280s?
Well, it was just at the time, if you look at the movie, it was a little...
Dated?
No. At the time, I think it was like kind of not futuristic, but it was just shot like a little different than most movies at the time.
I think it's because it was Californian. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're like 10 years ahead of us. And
I see what you're saying.
things.
The perspective from which this was shot it's unique for sure.
Mm-hmm. It was a little too hip maybe for me at the time. I was like, I liked it. I shouldn't say I didn't like it, but I liked it more as time went on, if that makes sense. I don't know. But yeah, so Lost Boys, July 31st, 1987, this was released, so that summer. We would have been, 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, going to 12 for me. Running time on this, 97 minutes, and it was rated R. No surprise there.
No surprise.
This was directed by Joel Schumacher and produced by Harvey Bernhard. That's not the guy that, no.
that's not the guy for the all the
He makes
the
it
rapes and everything.
burn hard.
Right. Budget on this, $8.5 million. And box office was $32.2 million.
Nice.
So that's a good return.
Hell yeah,
Very
man.
good, very
That's
good.
a 400% return. Juice is definitely worth the squeeze. That's a winner. And that's a good summer return, man. That's good.
No, and like I said, I know the marketing on this, like the posters and stuff, looked cool, and I was, definitely excited to see it. I didn't see it at the theater.
I saw this on like TV, I think. So it had to have been when I was in probably high school or right before.
See, I know we used to rent movies like crazy, so I would rent stuff as soon as it came out, So I know I probably saw this at like 12 years old. That's probably why I didn't really get it then. I was like, And Corey Haim and Corey Feldman were close.
Oh, they were huge.
Yeah, they were closer to
huge.
my age. But, like I said, I don't say I hated it back then, but I know I didn't really get it as much back then.
Agreed. It took me a second or third watch since my first time to really let it soak in.
Yeah.
We could do like a Haim Feldman. We could do like a whole month of those. Like License to Drive, I thought was an awesome movie. If anybody's ever seen that. What else were they in together?
Dream a Little Dream.
Dream a Little Dream,
yeah.
where Feldman thought he was Michael Jackson.
That's right.
And actually carried that on. Like he
still does that shit. Doesn't
correct. When he
he does.
In recent years, and everything got blurred in 2020. So it could have been 2015 for all I know. But even when he tried to come back out as a solo artist, and he had these girls dancing behind him and doing whatever the hell, he was dancing like Michael Jackson.
But yeah, this movie was shot in Santa Cruz County, California, and Santa Cruz in Spanish means Holy Cross, which that's kind of ironic.
Glad you're touching up on your Spanish thing.
Well, I'm not. Wikipedia is.
Oh, awesome. Thank you,
Site
Wikipedia.
is, but yeah, I thought that was interesting, though, being that it's vampires and crucifixes and all that.
Sure.
So they filmed this from June 2nd, 1986 through June 23rd. So
21 days.
yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of shocked me. I thought it would have been longer.
Yeah, usually a few months, like 5-6 months for a movie, right?
Dang, they were getting it in, man. That's not bad.
And this had some stunts in it and effects and
Yeah.
different things. So maybe they were just rushing it. I mean, the budget was $8.5 million.
Sneaky fucking Russians.
Yeah, Russians. They were rushing it. Yeah. But that's pretty much it for that part of it. I'll turn it over to Zap for the cast.
Yeah. So the cast of The Lost Boys includes, but is not limited to, Jason Patric as Michael Emerson, Corey Haim playing the part of Sam Emerson, Diane Wiest as Lucy Emerson, Bernard Hughes as Grandpa, Edward Herman as Max, Kiefer Sutherland playing the part of David, Jamie Gertz
Oh, yeah.
as Star.
You know how much she's worth, Zap?
Nope.
$8 billion.
With a B.
With a B.
Car doors go like this.
Yeah, she got a lot of cars.
How did that happen?
We'll get into that.
Yeah,
I think I mentioned it before, but
Dang,
we'll
I'd
get
like
into
to get into that. Corey Feldman as Edgar Frog, Jameson Newlander as Alan Frog, Brooke McCarter as Paul, Billy Worth as Dwayne, Alex Winter as Marco, Chance Michael Corbett as Laddie, and lastly, Tim Capello playing the part of the beach concert star.
Yeah,
The beach concert guy.
You know, when you went upstairs, Matt was showing, we pulled up a picture of that guy. Matt's like, look, this guy, look at him. He's only like 52.
Currently,
Like,
you took a look at a recent picture?
well, when Matt pulled it up when we were looking at Matt, because he's 52, I'm like, there's no way. He would have been like 14 then when he filmed this movie.
We were like, wow, he was in such great shape for a 15-year-old kid.
Was the math off on this calculation?
The picture was from like 2015.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way, Matt.
It was some sort of like Comic-Con thing. Like the guy sits around, it looks like on like tables like this. You know how the wrestlers,
yeah.
Yeah.
they show like them going to like these old gyms and signing pictures. It looks like that's what that guy does.
Yeah.
How is he a draw? Who gives a shit about Tim Capello?
Because of the Lost Boys.
Yeah, it must be from that. Or what was the other thing you said he toured with?
He toured with, man, you're killing my fun facts here, bro.
Oh, hey. Oh.
Premature.
I'm not telling.
Oh, okay, we'll save it. We'll save it.
We're holding on to that one. That's
I'm edging. I'm edging.
a hot ticket.
When it comes to Tim Capello, I got to edge because he's so fine.
There's going to be a lot of Tim Capello talk, I'm sure when we get to that, but yeah.
Real quick into the Gertz thing. I know nothing's real quick, but Jamie Gertz, I guess, because of her super hotness back then.
She is so hot in this movie. So hot.
This guy, Wrestler, I think is his name. He's like a huge investment banker, hedge funds. Like this guy has money. And I think he was so into her that he had to ask her out. And apparently they got married. And now she owns like baseball teams and hockey teams.
Damn.
Good for her.
I know. That's what I said. Good for you, Jamie Gertz.
I say good for her and good for her husband.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for the cast. We'll turn over to Matt for a brief synopsis.
If I can read this, my eyes are getting bad. So I'm getting older. That's why it's Old Dirty Basement.
Yeah, it is old.
You got to brush the dirt off of that synapses.
Yeah, this is a hip comic twist on classic vampire story. Sam and his older brother Michael are all-American teens with all-American interests. But after they move with their mother to peaceful Santa Carla, California, things mysteriously begin to change. Michael's not himself lately, and Mom's not going to like what he's turning into. The Lost Boys reshapes vampire tradition, deftly mixing heart-pounding terror, rib-tickling laughs, and a body-gyrating rock soundtrack. Actually, very good soundtrack.
Good soundtrack, yeah.
Under Joel Schumacher's direction, a marvelous cast, Jason Patric, Jamie Gertz, Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Bernard Hughes, and Edward Herman stakes you to a gleefully ghoulish entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, The Lost Boys.
So I'm looking over as Matt was reading that synopsis, and in fact, instead of a piece of paper or a computer screen, Matt was actually reading that from the back of the DVD.
Yeah.
Which brings me to kudos to you, Dave, for owning the DVD of The Lost Boys.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I've grown to like this movie, over the years, like watching it. You know what I mean?
It's not in my collection, but I'm envious that it's in yours.
Yeah. No, it's one of those ones that when you go to Blockbuster and it was like $5.99.
What a difference.
And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll get that movie for
Hell yeah.
I got a ton of DVDs like that I just picked up over the years, and I've held on to them. Yeah. Thank God.
You sound like Stilton George. He still calls me sometimes. He's like, you never believe what I got for 99 cents.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they still have them at Walmart and places like that. They'll throw them in these big bins. And there's like, I think he found like a Jaws 2 or something he was all excited about.
There is a perpetual yard sale that occurs in downtown Harrisburg every day. Every day in the 200 block of 2nd Street. It's right in front of the Horning's Hardware.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So Horning's Hardware, not only do they operate maintain and operate a handful of hardware stores, but they also operate a second business, and it's basically cleaning out estates, vacant houses, anything like that. So essentially, one would call them, say, "Look, man, I got this house. My parents died, or I'm sitting on this house, or it's a rental that nobody's there, and they left all their shit. I want to pay you to take all this shit out of my house." Cool. So they show up, they take all the shit out, they rummage through it, and then they make money on the back end reselling some of that stuff.
Yeah, eBay.
So I tell you all of that to get to at this never stopping everyday yard sale in front of this hardware store. They have a bin of DVDs and VHSs.
Nice.
And it grows, it shrinks. It grows, it shrinks. It's amazing.
Yeah, much like never mind.
Oh.
But yeah, Lost Boys definitely one of the ones that, like, over the years I was like, man, I get it. As I got a little older, and that style of movie, it is stylistic. Even watching it now, like, it had a different style to the filming.
Yep.
Watching it now was excellent.
Yeah.
I really appreciated it.
Although I saw some undertones in it that I didn't really probably notice as a kid, and different things like little.
That's going to pop up in one of the breaks.
Yeah.
Undertonage.
There's an undertone there that I saw that it didn't quite make sense. I certainly wouldn't have noticed it as a kid, but certainly nothing I would have done as a kid either.
No. But,
just not making sense.
Nope.
No, it's funny. I do remember. We're going ahead a little bit, but when Corey Haim in the bathtub when he was singing that song, I remember like trying because I couldn't just jump on the internet.
What song was it? I forget now.
I ain't got a home. That one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Now I
But
remember that. Yeah.
I remember my sister and I would love that song. Like we'd always sing it, but we'd always ask my dad. Like he'd be like, I don't know what the hell you're talking.
Know what song it
yeah,
is?
so you couldn't I couldn't just jump on a computer like look it up right away and some shit.
And Google it.
Because I didn't have a phone then. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I don't even think I had a computer yet.
No, I didn't.
No.
Well, hell, at this point, nobody even knows what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. True.
We'll get there.
We will. In fact, let's get there, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's ride.
All right. Canyonero. All right. A night at the boardwalk introduces us to a group of troublemakers harassing a young couple on a merry-go-round at the carnival. The remainder of the night doesn't bode well for the policeman who broke up that scuffle. After being chased by an unseen assailant, he's whisked away into the night sky. Welcome to Santa Carla, vampire capital of the world, according to the graffiti on the back of a local billboard. Amongst the town's tourists and boardwalk attractions are dozens of missing person leaflets posted around town as the landscape unfolds. We're introduced to Michael Emerson and his younger brother Sam, along with their divorced mother, Lucy. The three are moving to Santa Carla to live with Lucy's father, an eccentric but wise old man whose house resembles a cluttered rustic hunting cabin with a kitchen attached to it.
That opening scene there with the boardwalk and stuff, like I'm so used to our boardwalk on Ocean City, like East Coast boardwalks.
Sure. Yep.
Like that boardwalk had a different vibe out there on the West Coast. Maybe that was one part of it too. Like it just seemed
Look more fun and less cold.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's probably more cold.
It's
out
a
there.
weird group of people out there. Like, so I remember going to California, like Venice Beach or any one of them out there, Hermosa Beach.
Mm-hmm.
You just have the people that look like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that look like that because that's that.
It
A
was
style.
bizarre.
You don't see that look on the East Coast. You
No.
just never did.
Definitely in the 80s in Ocean City was like a family oriented. Now you'd go down there and maybe see some wild shit.
Sure.
But back in the 80s, Ocean City was kind of like clean and very nice. And there was didn't seem to be a bad element going on there in Ocean City. So this boardwalk looked like it had some bad shit going on. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I
right
think
off the bat.
in like late 70s, 80s, even in the mid 80s, I think when people were trying to make it, they'd go out to California, like in LA, figure they can't make it in LA. They still liked where they were at. They could be who they were. And like you moved all over, like, and then you go down like more Southern California, Northern California. But that's why I think they had such a mix of like wacky, not to say they were weird or anything, but just you can be yourself down there and be weird and strange and it's okay.
And it's acceptable. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in 87 though, it was that was like definitely more like a counterculture going on. Like, you know, for nowadays it's just like I said, Ocean City even for that matter. They got some wild shit going on, but it was definitely the West Coast was a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminded a bit of the Karate Kid as they're pulling into town into their what was it, a Jeep?
That was a Toyota Land Cruiser.
Wait. That was theirs was a Land Cruiser?
Yeah, the family, the Emersons.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in a Toyota FJ, like a 68 Land Cruiser. That's
Okay.
one of the fun facts.
Just making sure. That's right. That is
Grandpa
one of the
had a
fun
nice
facts.
ride too.
Yeah, because actually
He did.
that thing's still running.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Still reminded of the Karate Kid, though, as they're driving into town. They just got this, they're packing up all their shit and they're rolling into town. They might be having some fun, but at least one of the boys is complaining that they'd rather be back in
I
Phoenix.
want to go back to Jersey. Yeah.
Jersey?
Is that where they were from? Jersey?
No,
yeah.
they're from Phoenix,
They were
but
from-
Arizona. Okay.
Macho Man. I was going to say Macho. Where'd I get that from? Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Karate Kid was from Jersey.
Indeed, he was.
Machio, that's what I was thinking.
Macho Man.
It was nice watching this as well as they're before we move into the next segment in this particular one, as they get to the house and they're talking to Grandpa, and he asks him about the mailing. Looking around the house, he asks if he's seen the TV guide.
Yes, I wrote that down too.
The TV guide. How I miss the TV guide. Now,
That was
look,
good reading.
I came up broke, so we didn't get the TV guide. We got the free one that came in the Patriot News, the TV Weekly.
Yeah, we would get TV Host.
Oh,
That was another version.
that was
guide.
a thing. Absolutely.
That was a little bigger.
They would always end up from out of the TV room in the bathroom, though.
Yeah.
You
I
would never
take it
find.
in-
Yeah, you never find the TV guide in the. That's another thing for these kids growing. There was no phone to take with you into the bathroom. You
So
had to grab.
TV Host.
Yeah, to grab reading material.
Grandpa's excuse, well, you read the TV guide. That way I don't need to watch the shows.
and just read about it.
Hell yeah.
I wrote down some things from the beginning of this too. So right off the bat, the Lost Boys on the carousel. The one dude reminded me of an MTV VJ, and I think it might have been like Adam Curry.
Adam
maybe.
Curry, who's
Yeah.
actually, fun fact about Adam Curry, and I'm not even sorry to cut you off because I got to get this out here.
No, do it.
He's actually considered the Podfather.
The Podfather, yes.
Yeah.
Number one guy.
No.
Isn't he like 70 something?
Probably in his 60s, I bet.
Yeah, I
I
wouldn't.
saw someone
I'd put
MTV,
him in his 60s.
an
Sure.
MTV VJ. They said was 72. I forget what the name was. It just popped up on like Facebook or something like that.
But yeah, when they were on that carousel coming around, it actually kind of reminded me of the band Poison too.
Sure.
Like their look. With the leather jacket and
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely. That was the four of them together. They should have been they could have easily been an 80s band.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what the whole scene, like that whole, it looked like every mid 80s, like heavy metal
Stereotype.
type, like
Yes.
a video. It
Yep.
did. It
Would've
looked
been
like every video on MTV at the time.
Could have been Round and Round by
Mhm.
Rat.
That's Rat.
Going
Yeah.
on the carousel. Also, the grandfather looked like Riley Martin, who, if any of you watched Howard Stern or listened to Howard Stern, Riley Martin is a character on there. He was dressed just like Riley Martin. So look that up if you don't know who Riley Martin is. And then also the curl bar, right as soon as they get to Grandpa's
Yep.
house.
The curl bar's in the kitchen.
Yeah. And we all had that curl bar, I think, as kids.
Absolutely.
The older brothers there curling. He's got like 10-pound weights on each end.
Those sand-filled plastic. They were
Right.
sand-filled plastic weights.
You got a curls for the girls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Curls for the girls. All right. Well, that night, Michael and Sam attend a town-wide party at the beach along the boardwalk, complete with a live band and unmistakable 1980s dancing.
Mm.
It's love at first sight when Michael is smitten by Star, a hot young local dancing in her devilishly desirous ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lucy, who's also out for a stroll along the boardwalk, finds her way to a local video store. There, she meets Max, the owner, and his dog, Thorin. The group of troublemakers we'd seen at the beginning of the movie come and go from the video store, but not without a stern warning from Max, who'd told them previously to stay out of his establishment. Back at the boardwalk party, with Michael now in hot pursuit of the hot Star, Sam finds his way to a comic book shop owned by the Frog brothers, Edgar and Alan. Later in the night, the young couple who were being harassed in the beginning of the movie on the merry-go-round suffer the same fate as the policeman. The roof of their car is ripped off, and both are whisked away into the night sky.
Yeah, that we were talking about that band playing. That's the Tim Capello.
Tim Capello.
So on Tim Capello, holy shit. So there is no doubt. As soon as I see this guy singing, I'm reminded immediately of Brutus the Barber Beefcake from WWF days with a saxophone.
yeah, he just has longer hair. Capello does instead of Brutus the Barber.
He definitely had a wrestler look, and I even wrote that down before we even started talking about this.
Yep.
So we were all on the same page.
Great
with the
minds
wrestler.
think alike.
Yeah, for sure.
And I liked when Corey Haim goes into the comic book store. The Frog Brothers are dressed like they like kind of military
Yeah.
style.
That was
for
the
sure.
thing. That was the thing for sure.
And then Haim kind of looked like Zach Morris from like Saved by the Bell.
So
His
I got
outfit.
that, dude. I got that written. I have that written down too. Sam's clothes. So he's wearing this oversized button-down shirt with a very oversized blazer over top of it, or a sport coat, or shit.
The sport coat with the shoulder pads.
Huge shoulder pads. Like, come on.
And you got to push the sleeves up so it balls up real big. You know what I mean?
But then the Frog Brothers, they were kind of like, he's okay because he knew about the comics. He's like, you don't put like a Superman 5 with whatever 8 series, and they were like, oh, okay.
That's what I was laughing at. Like, you get cred. You go in there, they're like sizing you up.
Sure.
Like, what's his like preppy? You know, whatever they think his
What's
style
he
is.
doing in here?
And then he starts spitting facts. And like, all right, he's cool then. He's on.
Yeah,
the
I
level.
thought that was a cool part. Then they're like, oh, okay, you're all right. You need to read this comic, and he handed him a thing about the vampires.
He knew this comics is right. The anyone take notice of Lucy's walking around. She sees the woman is posting another one of those missing person leaflets. In this case, it's the worried wife of the now missing policeman that was whisked away in the very beginning. Like,
Taken
so
away.
she's putting up the poster of like, where's my husband, the policeman.
Oh wow, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
I had a question too. Did you guys notice Corey Haim's sneakers? They were like the purple and yellow Converse. Was that a Lakers? Was that like
That
a
was
Magic,
the Lakers.
Yeah,
That was the Magic.
Johnson.
Because remember, the Larry Birds were the green and white.
Yep.
So they were the
The
Magic.
Magics were the purple and yellow.
Because I felt like he had his own sneaker then at one point.
Who, Corey Haim?
Yeah, Corey Haim.
The
did.
Haims.
They were jellies. No, like Magic Johnson had his
He
own
did,
sneakers,
and they were Converse.
Yeah.
but they didn't have
But they
the
were
logo on it.
so they sure did. There's a Chuck Taylor, which is not what you're talking
That's
about.
not.
No.
No, it was their signature brand.
Like a high top.
It was a
regular
high top,
leather
puffier. Yep.
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and Akeem Olajuwon, because they had the red and white
Akeem Olajuwon.
Atlanta
Yeah.
Falcons.
The Dream.
Yeah,
Akeem
Atlanta
the Dream.
Hawks.
But I thought Magic had like his own logo or something.
No,
on
he
it.
was Converse.
Nope, that's Michael the Jordan,
Yeah, I know Jordan had that. Obviously,
obviously.
Because he was supposed to go to Converse, Jordan, because they were the ones. Because
or was it Adidas? I think Adidas. Was
Adidas?
the big one.
he wanted to go to Adidas because he liked Adidas because of like the shells and it was like a rap type thing.
Yeah, but Corey Haim sneakers. I don't know. I got to look that up.
And like Nike was running, I think, and that's why he was like, I don't want to be Nike. That's a running shoe. But look what happened.
Yeah.
Two more things I wanted to point out that we've gotten so far in this movie. One is Alex Winter's hair. So Alex
What the
Winter
hell
was
was that? Yeah.
Bill from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yes.
Yes.
Foreshadow.
So foreshadows right. So that hair was awful. You could tell that was some kind of clip-on mullet.
Marco.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was just a clip-on, just in the back mullet that he wanted because he had to sport longer hair. I'm guessing in a short amount of time.
right.
Because I'm thinking, I don't want to do a chicken and the egg thing, but I think Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure came out before this.
No, I think it was after.
It was after.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
88.
Okay.
It was either like right during or after.
I don't know. Is that now? I'm thinking.
Either way, that hair was fake as hell. It was again just for Alex, not to be confused with the one that looks like Adam Curry. That hair was real as hell and blown out as hell.
You know, it definitely was after this because I remember one of the fun facts was the only other movie he was in before this was Death Wish 3,
Okay,
which
nice.
with Charles Bronson, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But-
Where was Edward Herman? His face is so.
Well, you would know him certainly as the husband from Overboard.
Yes.
There it
yes.
is.
There it is.
Yeah.
He's all dancing with like the three girls
That's right.
after Goldie Hawn goes missing. He's
Too
having a great
foodie.
time.
So wait,
Tofuti.
Edward Herman as Max. Max was the
Max
love
was.
interest.
Max was Goldie Hawn's husband from Overboard.
No. But in this movie, I'm
Yes,
trying to
he was the love
remember.
interest. Not giving anything away. He was Lucy's. She was kind of into him.
He
asked
was
her-
the shop owner.
Yeah.
Correct. He owned the video store.
Gotcha.
He was the one like the reverse foreshadowing where he's like, "Get out of my store, bad kids."
He was the one dressed like Oingo Boingo. A little
Yes,
bit.
yes. I think they were all on Go
There
Boingo.
was an Oingo Boingo thing. And another thing I wanted to point out in this is I got so tired of, and I think that's probably what turned me off to this movie years ago when I was watching it the first or second time, Corey Feldman's voice.
Oh yeah.
He tries to talk so deep.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, look, man, you better get yourself a garlic T-shirt, pal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
The Oingo Boingo reference. That's a Dead Man's Party. Remember Back to School? They actually had a cameo in there.
Yeah, that was a good jam.
That's another one we could cover. Did we do that one yet?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
That
You
was
sure can.
the triple lending.
Yeah, Triple Lindy was something special.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, moving along. The next morning, Sam returns to the Frog Brothers comic shop. The Frog Brothers aren't just comic book salesmen. They are devoted to a higher purpose,
Mm-hmm.
truth, justice, the American way, and eliminating the supernatural that have infiltrated the town. They give Sam a comic book about vampires. That night, Michael's in search of Star again. He finds her, accompanied by the same group of hoodlums we've seen intermittently since the beginning, who were led by a man named David. David swiftly invites Michael into the fold of the gang, and they make their way to the gang's hideout. As part of his initiation into their throng, Michael looks... Are you familiar with that term, Matt?
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let me see that throng.
What's his name?
Cisco.
Cisco,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Into the fold of the gang. They make their way to the gang's hideout. Initiation into the throng. Michael accepts and drinks from a bottle. He believes the liquid to be some sort of wine, but it's actually blood. Meanwhile, Sam begins his education about the undead as he delves into his comic book.
Yeah, Star was trying to let him know. She's like, "No, Michael, you don't have to."
It's blood.
Get in on
It's
that.
blood. Yeah, sure, it's blood.
Yeah, how do you like them noodles, Michael?
Yeah.
So-
And they were like, "Yeah,
What do you call that phrase, Matt? Fake truth or some shit?
truth lie."
Truth
lie.
lies.
That's it. So he had, up until this point, he had been duped twice with the Chinese food. Once with the rice that was maggots, and once that was worms, which was actually lo mein. So now it's, wow, fool me once, fool me twice. You're not going to get me a third
Yeah,
time.
I'm
And
gonna
she says,
drink this.
no, it's
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah, right. So you didn't believe it. I don't know. I'd be drinking, eating anything off these cats. Then he almost like tried to run them off a cliff like 5 minutes earlier.
That's
so-
correct.
Yeah, but that's
Like-
just they were just being kids, man.
They got really friendly really quickly.
Yeah. It was
in,
like
in the 80s too, like all like the bad kids always have motorcycles. Like
Dirt
it's just
bikes.
Like
They're
dirt bikes
again
is
with
like a
them damn
thing.
dirt
Again,
bikes.
Karate Kid
yeah.
comes back.
I did like on the back of Kiefer's dirt bike, the brake light was like a iron cross.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an independent truck company.
Yes.
Or Santa Cruz,
Yeah.
Santa Cruz.
which
Yes.
we learned is Mexican for Holy Cross.
Holy Cross. Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so in this part, at this point, what we've seen so far, there is a scene that happens in Sam's bedroom.
Yes.
So this is Sam being Corey Haim.
Mhm.
He has on the door of his closet a poster of Rob Lowe.
Right.
Yes, we were talking about that earlier.
Why in the hell does a boy have a poster of another boy or another dude? Why does a dude have a poster of another dude?
But posed like that. Like
Yeah,
his shirt
like
pulled
that.
Up. Yeah. It was
Right.
like, yeah.
Look, we
I
got a
mean-
poster of Winger down here. That's a
Right.
whole different world.
It's different. Yeah.
Maybe not for him. Maybe he was like into like movies or something.
Right.
It is
Well-
Rob Lowe.
or dudes.
Right. And it was on the closet.
On the closet.
That's
So-
like
So
foreshadowing.
they were trying to, and they were actually
Keep it in
saying,
the closet.
there were people saying, trying to tie that to his character. And Joel Schumacher is openly gay. He's a gay.
Oh, so that's
So
why they were putting the stuff like
So
that.
they asked him about it. He's like,
He
no.
loves the boys.
Yeah, he was like, no, I didn't.
Bring
I
me
didn't,
the
I didn't-
boys.
He said, I didn't put that poster in there for that reason. He said, I put it in there because I guess he had just, I don't know if he worked on St. Elmo's Fire or one of the other movies.
Oh, with Lowe.
And Rob Lowe was
Yeah.
big at the time. So he's like, I just put the poster up. It had nothing to do with what people were reading into, but I don't know.
Is that
I
what
thought
you
it was
guys
an
were
odd.
talking about, the undertones?
Yeah.
Yeah, like to me, I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. But there's fan theories that go, oh, well, look the way he dressed. He was always much better dressed than the other boys. And
He
this
was
and
the
that.
trendiest, most flamboyant dresser, Sam.
Right, and the earring and all that.
Yep.
But who knows?
Look, not for nothing. I think there was, I see the undertones.
Mm-hmm.
I think, what's his name? Joel Schumacher?
Put it in there, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Rob Lowe is a handsome guy, though. He's
He is.
extremely handsome. He hasn't changed in 30 years.
He still looks good.
He still looks the same.
He
That's
will thank the
amazing.
Atkins diet for that.
Maybe he's a vampire.
Oh,
Could be.
Maybe that's what the symbolism is.
Mm.
He's a vampire.
There's something we don't know.
yeah, he hasn't
Right.
aged.
Yeah.
Not a bit. Let's see. Oh, the in this scene, so in all of the harassing or the initiation between the maggots and the worms, and now that he drank the blood. Again, as Matt had mentioned, didn't these guys just try to drive one another off of a cliff earlier on their bikes?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they're all buddy hanging out, and Michael ends his night by dangling from a railroad bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, dude, how did you guys become so friendly and so trusting just like that?
Come on, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Michael was in love, man. Star just got him. He was like, if I hang with these guys, if I show I'm cool, that's all it was.
He had his eyes on the prize.
It was peacocking, man. And he was like, if I can show Star that I'm just as cool. Plus, he was wondering, you guys got this cool ass hangout. Star's living down there with you. Like, who is she even dating? I don't even know.
It was a weird vibe.
Yeah, can I get a piece of that action?
What was the story of that hangout? It was
It used to be an old hotel and an earthquake.
Earthquake, it dropped down below.
Okay.
So now it's ours. One other thing back to his room, you're talking about the poster, but one other thing I noticed in there, did you guys have one of those watch like
Yes, on the wall. I had that.
Was that a swatch?
That was a swatch, yes.
100% that was a swatch.
And it was actually a full size, like 10 times bigger watch that you would hang on your wall back in the 80s.
With the strap. Yep.
Yeah.
They also had the Jim Morrison poster from their little lair. It was kind of neat.
That was cool.
Yep. That the cover of that song was done. Wait, is anybody going to be talking about the soundtrack? Okay.
No, we can talk about it. Anytime you want. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So the cover of that for this movie, I should say, The People Are Strange, was covered by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good band.
They did a great job on that, I think.
Yeah, I thought it was a good cover. I don't know.
Didn't they give Michael a little bit of the weed?
He did give him
was it
some
like,
weed.
here, Michael?
I wasn't sure if that was a cigarette or if that was a weed cigarette.
I think it was the weed.
The weed.
They were trying to see if he was cool, if he like drank wine and smoked the weed.
They're on the pot.
Yeah.
Well, they did reference earlier when they showed up at the grandfather's house that he was growing weed outside because he said to
like, hey,
Corey
look.
Haim, he was like, "Hey, look," like he's like, "Grandpa's growing weed out back."
Yep.
Yeah, but Michael, he couldn't get his mind off Star, so
No,
he had to be in the group.
And can you blame him?
No, not at all. That's what I'm
Not
saying. He had to.
A bit. Although I don't know. Not for nothing. I think she could have used bigger jugs.
Yeah, Michael was shooting his shot, man. That's all there was to it.
I'm not saying, look, obviously she's not ugly. I just think she would have been better had she had, better bosoms.
Well, if she wants to buy some, she sure can.
She sure can. Oh, at this point, by the way, we're seeing these guys all hanging out again, they were at Star's even walking around with them at the carnival.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
At any point, is anyone questioning what's with this little boy that's hanging around? Like at first you see it, maybe it's like Star's little brother, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But this kid's just hanging around. He sure is hanging around late night.
Yeah, what's up with that?
That kid was 147 years old.
Yeah.
That boy, 137 years old.
He ain't met no young boy.
You ain't never met no Martin Luther the King. All right. Poster of Rob Lowe. Young boy. Okay, we're good. Moving on. The next morning, Michael awakens to find himself irritated by sunlight. Brushing it off, he's been tasked to spend the day and evening with Sam while Lucy is to go to dinner with Max. That night, Michael's transformation continues. Unknowingly, he finds himself compelled with bloodlust to attack his own brother. It's only thanks to Sam's dog, Nanook, that Michael is brought to his senses. Michael and Sam discover that Michael's reflection in the mirror is now translucent and that Michael can now levitate. He's becoming a creature of the night. Michael returns to the gang's hideout to find Star alone.
Hey now.
The two make sweet, sweet love, and Michael returns home the next morning. Lucy makes her way to Max's house to offer an apology for their date having been cut short the night before, but only finds herself viciously attacked by Max's dog when she attempts to approach the house.
The Hounds of Hell.
Yeah.
The Hounds of Hell are right.
Mm-hmm.
So that sex scene, that's where we hear that song that so when we
Cry Little Sister.
Cry Little Sister, so
Little sister.
we do a little group text and when we're talking about what we're going to cover, what do you guys want to do, what's coming up next, and Matt said, hey, Lost Boys, and Zap responds with Cry Little Sister or something else.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Oh, I said thou shalt not lie. Cry Little
Little
Cry
Sister.
Little
Sister.
Sister.
so I forgot about it. It didn't really register with me when you sent it. I was like, oh, I'm going to look that up because it's obviously a reference.
Manson covered it.
Charles Manson.
Marilyn.
Oh,
Charles Manson covered it.
Cry Little Sister. Well, also
He could've.
a musician. Also
Yeah.
a musician.
Yeah.
so that was a reference to this song that's during this this scene, which I found out. Fun fact is one of the two songs from this movie that the lead singer of Korn, John Davis, is his favorite. Two of his favorite songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other one is the one by the saxophone player.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That song?
Yeah.
Wow.
So he's a big Lost Boys fan, I take it.
He must be.
Yeah.
Well, he was out on the West Coast and stuff at that time.
What is it? It's I believe in something. I believe in.
I still believe.
I still believe. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
In
it.
Life After Love?
That's it.
No. So anyway,
Let's share.
so Star. Oh, you're saying believe in love.
God damn, Dave.
Life after life.
I said something about Cher. She's dating some like 30-year-old dude.
Oh, well,
I wouldn't doubt
everything's coming back gay. The dude, that Cher is hugely popular amongst the gay population.
Oh, for sure.
Huge.
Yeah. Definitely.
I'm bouncing off of
Round and round.
the concept of Rob Lowe's poster on the thing. Corey Haim dressing all preppy and
Zach
whatever.
Morrissey.
Yes.
Zach Morrissey, not to be confused with Morrissey.
Right.
He's asexual.
Oh. Interesting.
I don't like men or women.
Is that all sexual?
All sexual.
Nice.
Yeah, Michael, he goes to attack Sam. Sam's in the bathtub singing that amazing song, the We Ain't Got No Home one. The Nook stops him, and we know Star's pretty easy when you're like a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what's happened so far.
Easy stop.
Easy.
Where's the little boy when all this is going on?
He's missing. He's missing somewhere, but I can tell you, fun fact, in this scene, or what we had just gone through, Michael is trying to drink milk, or he goes to take a drink of milk and he gets a stomach pain.
Yep.
And he drops the carton of milk on the ground. That carton of milk has a picture.
Yeah,
of
who was that on there?
the boy.
Oh, the little boy.
The little boy that
Oh,
was
shit.
walking around with Star.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that.
Little things. All right. Well, Sam is piecing the puzzle together. He believes that Max is the head vampire and is the cause for all of the recent problems. He also believes that since his brother hasn't killed anyone yet, his brother can be saved. He enlists the help of the Frog Brothers. That night, Max has been invited over to Lucy's home for dinner. The Frog Brothers arrive to help Sam expose Max as the head vampire, but their attempts fail as Sam passes all of their rudimentary tests.
It's like, you need a little more garlic on that?
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh, this is horrible. What's wrong? Oh, it's garlic.
So, yeah, he offers Parmesan cheese, but really it's garlic. Meanwhile, David reveals to Michael that he and his gang are, in fact, vampires, and that Michael need only kill to truly become one of them. Is it David who is the head vampire? Michael wants nothing to do with it and returns home for Sam's help. Star follows him to the house and informs him that it's not too late for him or her to avoid becoming full-fledged vampires. They need only avoid killing. Star also reveals to him that David had intended for him to be her first victim.
It seems like in all movies all the time, like kids are always trying to cock block. Anytime like a parent's divorced,
Sure.
and they're like, you know what I'm saying? Every time, like they act like an ass at dinner.
Yeah.
And then the person
So, yeah, it's
leaves.
always dinner.
It's just always in movies. That's how it goes.
You're
Like,
not my dad.
It's usually the mom that's like trying to hook up, and then the kids ruin it. You know what I'm saying?
Fun fact, in this little segment we had just discussed, this includes the scene where they're at the beach. The vampires, the four vampire gang and Michael are hanging out at the beach, and this is where the vampires come full on. Like everybody is now essentially out of the closet, right? So they're all vamping out, fangs everywhere. They're attacking everybody on the beach. Fun fact: this is Alex Winter's favorite scene.
Yeah, he loved it. Yeah,
Loved
I did
it.
read that.
Mullet and all,
Yeah, the mullet.
clip-on mullet.
Is that the part where they attack the bonfire?
Correct.
Yes,
so
okay.
they
They
were-
go
they
full.
were
Yeah, they
playing like,
fully vamp out.
Run DMC was playing and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's not on the soundtrack.
Walk this way.
Which I always thought, like, if it's in the movie, it's got to be on. Is that not on the soundtrack
No, I think they have to give their. Wait, they would have gave the right to use
in the movie?
in the movie, but maybe not on the soundtrack. Maybe you got to buy our tape to listen to that song
Maybe.
instead of being on the soundtrack.
Possibly.
That's how they made their money back then.
That
Now-
was like in,
now it's just going to concerts.
in Juice, I think it was, or one of the ones we covered, like Cypress Hill. One song was on and it wasn't on the soundtrack.
Yep, that
I could
happens.
Just kill a man.
That
whatever.
happens all the time.
Yeah, buy my album, not that album.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. That's probably why.
Makes sense.
We could have made money 30 years ago with that kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
Let's see. The next day, Michael, Sam, and the Frog Brothers make their way to the vampire gang's lair.
I like what you said there. Vampire Gang's Lair.
Yeah. While Michael tends to Star and Laddie, Laddie's the name of that little boy, Sam and the Frog Brothers find the gang of vampires sleeping. They kill one, but awaken the others in the process. The boys, along with Michael, Star, and Laddie, escape and return home. All are fearful of the retribution they will face from the vampires by the day's end. Sam and the Frog Brothers prepare for the inevitable by barricading themselves in Sam's house and filling squirt guns with garlic-infused holy water.
Yeah.
Also, another cool scene. They kill Marco. That's Bill or Ted.
That's
one of
correct.
the Excellent Adventure guys.
Bill S. Preston.
They stake him. Yeah.
Marco.
Yeah.
They stake him all right.
Mm-hmm.
Blood's everywhere.
Mm.
All the vampires wake up. But interesting, all the vampires end up going back to sleep. Like, they chase the boys out. Like, the boys escape, obviously, from the vampires' lair.
This whole place is just one big coffin.
Right.
And Corey Feldman.
And yet, I don't know, they go back in and go to sleep. Why didn't the boys just come back and kill them one by one?
When they were out, why were they covered in glitter too? The boys. You notice that on the beach?
I have a feeling.
Okay.
What you're saying, I know. I actually know that is a fun fact.
Oh, is it a fun?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
we'll get to that. Yeah.
No, I can tell you right now.
Yeah,
Go
what
go
was
for it.
The blood, the fake blood that was used in this movie was mixed with glitter to make it shimmer more, given the low light.
Oh.
So whenever light would hit it, it would make it shimmer, and it gives you that,
Shimmery shine.
well, that the thought of, oh, it's extra special blood, or it's extra special weird because it's in a vampire, it came out of a vampire, or a vampire's drinking it, or some kind of shit like that. Yeah, the fake blood was mixed with glitter.
So that's why they look like they were out of a strip club or something. I mean, they
There you
literally
go.
had blue,
Strip club all day.
blue glitter all like, you know what I mean? That's how when you come home, you know.
Funny story with that. I
No,
found,
Dave, I don't know.
You
What do you
know.
mean
Yeah.
by that?
You know.
No, I found some of that antibacterial stuff, but it was like from a Bath and Body.
Yes, with the
But
glitter. It's like
I was like,
vanilla.
yeah, I was at a thing this week, and I was looking at my hands; they're all sparkling. I was like, what
Covered
the-
with it?
Yeah,
There always those like vanilla peach. Or
Yeah,
It's
something.
always like
Just awful.
but this part here in the movie that also had the iconic scene of Kiefer Sutherland where he gets the tear in his eye because he goes to reach out, but the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And his hand gets burned, and they just go to him and they show the tear.
Yeah.
What
And you're
was
like,
the tear
oh,
about?
shit's gonna hit the fan now.
Yeah.
You
You don't make-
upset?
No, the tear from his hand was burning, and he wanted so bad to go out there and kill the guy that just killed Marco.
So he was crying because he couldn't.
And then he
get
went and he just like had the one tear.
Thou shalt not cry.
Mm-hmm.
Cry, little sister.
Ah.
Oh. Or no. He just,
I didn't.
He was just upset that his buddy just got
Marco's
killed.
dead,
Yeah.
and he just burned his hand, but he's going to go kill some people now. He's very upset.
Fun fact, Kiefer Sutherland was only 17 when he filmed this movie.
That's right. I thought he was like 19 or 20, but yeah, 17.
He was 17.
He's only
It's coming
17.
back around. Mhm.
God, he looked older than that.
Dude.
That's crazy.
And
I
he
wouldn't
had
thought-
just come off of filming Stand By Me.
Who has a 5 o'clock shadow like that at 7?
Wait, yeah, he wasn't 17. He was 20, I thought.
But
Let's do the math.
look, I don't know what his birthday was, but my understanding was that he was 17. I'm happy to be wrong because I mean, if he was that young,
I mean, he could have been.
God
I
bless
don't-
him.
I don't. So he would have been born in 70 then?
Yeah.
Or 69. let's say.
69.
That
I would put him
could
at
be
69.
right. That could be right.
Either way, one more thing in this. Oh, so
He was born 1966.
Oh, okay.
December of 1966.
Well, then I
Okay.
clearly misread a little blurb about this. Joel Schumacher was mentioning like his.
Maybe
he was supposed to be playing a
17-year-old in the show in the
There
movie.
it
Maybe
is.
that's what it was.
Okay,
because he was 20 when they. I mean, he had a huge 5 o'clock shadow for.
but playing the part of a 17-year-old.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they were all high school kids.
I was
Makes a
gonna
lot more
say
sense.
because like he had like I know I shaved in high school. I mean, most of us did, but to get like a beard like that,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
That's
I know
tough.
a couple dudes,
Yeah,
but
I don't
it's
think I
rare.
shaved in high school.
it was still
You
thin.
didn't?
No.
I did. I had to.
There's the sacrilegious part of this scene where they're prepping for the Armageddon here, and the Frog Brothers are going to church and they're filling up canteens with holy water.
Yeah.
That was a good montage. I like that.
Yeah,
That was very cool.
yeah. They're rolling around buying garlic,
Mm-hmm.
filling up canteens,
Smashing the
with holy
garlic,
water.
throwing it in the bathtub.
That's what this Corey Feldman's always on a mission.
He is.
Every movie he's in, he's always like Goonies,
Yeah.
fucking The Burbs.
He's typecast.
They're always like headbands and mission.
Well, they
Headbands.
wanted this movie was supposed to be. This is a quick fun fact. Was supposed to be like the Goonies. Did you guys read that?
I didn't know that.
Yes. Supposed to, and I think the frog, like they were supposed to be like 8-9-year-old kids. And it was supposed to be like these 12, 13, 14-year-olds that were like the gang
Yes,
of
I did.
vampires.
I did hear that. Yeah.
I can see that. In hindsight, I can see this more like or having a Goonies-esque.
Yeah, because like the
thing
Goonies,
to it.
those type of movies then were so big, they were making all the money, so they were trying to keep it like where all the kids want to go see it, buy T-shirts, buy little like vampire dolls and shit like that.
Yep.
I think he said too he wanted to make it more sexual,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
like
that's
sex, not sexual but sexy.
You're
Yeah,
buying
yeah.
pinups of Jamie Gertz.
Yeah, to put
Yeah.
Gertz in there.
So making them older, you can make it a little more sexy. So it
$8
makes
billion.
sense.
It worked. $8 billion. All right, we're almost there. David and the remaining 2 members of the vampire gang arrive at Sam's house as expected. After breaking into the house, one of the gang members is melted in a tub of holy water, and another is impaled and electrocuted. Death by stereo.
Mm-hmm.
David is now the last remaining vampire, and after a mano-a-mano fight with Michael, he's impaled on a set of antlers. But nothing's changed. Michael remains vampirical.
Is that a word?
Sure is.
That's awesome.
Of or having to do with vampires.
Vampires, yeah.
Just then, Max and Lucy return to Lucy's home, and Max reveals himself to be the head vampire. He'd passed the boys' tests earlier because he'd been invited into their home.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Yep,
Tricky.
yep.
Thereby rendering their tests useless. Max's plan all along was for David to transform Michael and Sam into vampires, thereby leaving Lucy no choice but to want to be converted herself. Just as Max is about to bite into Lucy's willing neck, Grandpa arrives by crashing through one of the walls of the house in his Land Cruiser and impaling Max with a fence post. Max explodes, and Michael, Star, and Laddie return to full human form. And if it's one thing about living in Santa Carla that Grandpa could never stomach, it's all the damn vampires.
All them vampires.
Like Grandpa's horn was like, whatever that was. Yeah.
That was actually International Harvester. The Land Cruiser was what the mom was driving.
That's why I'd asked earlier.
Yeah.
So he was driving the International. I was trying to figure out what vehicle that was, and as I was reading through, I read again. It's like I thought Kiefer Sutherland was 17 for Christ's sake.
No, but
I saw Land Cruiser, and it didn't seem like a Toyota.
The Harvester was like almost like a farm truck.
Correct.
Like, you know what I mean, big brute looking thing.
Could
but,
almost be mistaken for like a large Volkswagen thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wrote down here at the end, I thought these vampires went down a little too easy.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you think that?
I wholeheartedly agree. The fact that the one died, in a bathtub against 2 little boys.
Yeah.
The Frog Brothers, come on.
And then the dog jumped and knocked. I mean, I know it's a movie, but I'm like, these are vampires that were like shredding people on the boardwalk,
Correct.
flying around.
But I think if you get like a sneak attack like that, like, you know what I mean? They went with their little clawy toes, which were weird, like picked up the people.
Yeah, they had like that bad fungi nail.
Yeah.
Like, it was real bad.
But I think they were kind of like newer vampires, so maybe they would have been easier. Like, there wasn't like one of them old school, you know.
They weren't as crusty.
Yeah.
Right. When they got to the main dude, then it was a little bit harder, but even that went quick. I mean, I felt like the ending scenes here, which they had to wrap it up.
They're all pretty much trying to bang Star. I think that's all they were worried about.
They were cheesy endings.
Right.
They were. I think they were half-hearted endings to the vampires' lives. I think the vampires deserve better. Build back better.
Yeah. Build back better. That's right. When I saw this, watching it last night, and I mean, I have the DVD, but I probably watched that. I don't know. I probably got that DVD 20 years ago.
Sure.
There was a movie that came out in between all that had me like perk up at the scene where he goes, "You have to invite me in." There was a movie called Let the Right One In, which is a great horror movie. It was first released over in like Sweden or something, and it was like subtitled. And it's all about...
Was that the little girl in the apartment complex?
Yeah, that vampires have to be invited in.
Yeah.
And I never really knew that. I don't remember that I ever heard that back in the 80s about vampires. So
I remember something about it.
Something about it.
Knew that, yeah.
But I know I wouldn't have picked it up in this movie back then. But then hearing that after watching Let the Right One In, as a 48-year-old now, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he's probably the
the
main
one
guy.
Mm-hmm.
But then at dinner they trick you because he's like,
dude, Max was a tricky little fucker. Max shows up and he says, "Well, Michael, you're the man of the house. You'll need to invite me in.
Yeah, that
I won't.
makes
Or I'm sorry, I won't come in unless you invite me.
unless you invite
He said,
me
"Come
in."
on in."
Right.
Oh, Max, you tricky son of a bitch.
Well, he was like the head guy. He should have been a little harder to kill.
That's what I'm saying.
But it was a sneak attack though. It wasn't like a real battle.
How did the
He would have probably fucked some people up in a battle.
True.
So Grandpa, I saw there's a scene when the boys go driving away in Grandpa's car earlier. There's hey Grandpa, we're going to borrow your car. It's when they go to Vampire City to go kill Bill, Alex Winter. As they're driving away, you see Grandpa as he's waving goodbye to him, like he's sharpening the tops of the
fence posts.
The fence posts.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like he knows, and
So how did the fence post fly into Max when he drives the International Harvester through the front wall? Like what?
Did he?
How did did I blink for a second? Did he mount them to the front of the?
I think they were on the front.
Maybe
yeah.
when he ran over the fence coming in, like they got stuck to the front. I don't know. Maybe that's like I didn't really get that. Like I said, they kind of. I think the end of this was thrown together so quickly.
It seemed pieced together. It really did.
That it was like, oh, let's kill them off.
The filming, what you said was what, 8 days?
21 days.
21 days.
Said it's probably like day 21.
That's insane. Yeah, let's wrap this up.
We got to wrap it up, and then
much like our podcast sometimes.
Sometimes, right. But maybe that's it, Zap. Maybe he ran it over, stuck to the. But you would have to time that perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a movie, guys.
Suspend disbelief. Yeah.
There was one other thing in this segment that I took notice to that kind of stuck out to me as cheesy, and it's when a white guy tries to talk like a black guy back in the 80s.
What do you say?
So the brown-haired, the sole singular brown-haired vampire, the one that gets electrocuted, death by stereo. He says to Sam at some point, you better try harder or something. Sucker. He says sucker. Like, you better try hard, sucker.
Like, I'm going to get you, sucker.
Yeah.
He's talking that.
It didn't seem, he's talking that jive.
talk.
He doesn't speak jive.
Like, yo, man.
I don't think that's jive talk, no.
All that jive talking.
That's the Bee Gees.
Tis.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for that. It might be time for fun facts.
Hell yeah, it's time for fun facts.
I always like our little fun facts.
Hell
thing
yeah.
there. That's a good button.
So who wants to start it off, Matt?
Yeah. Corey Feldman, actually, you know how we were talking about, and Zach was always like referencing to how he's like, trying to talk like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to tell him to act like Sylvester Stallone mixed with Chuck Norris.
Oh,
that's why
he got it.
That's why they were directing him like that. So he's trying to, this is what I'm talking about.
So it's their fault.
Yes.
You got somebody's
director error.
Oh, speaking of that Corey Feldman, that dude almost didn't get the part. He showed up the first day of filming coming down off of a Coke binge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Feldman?
Yeah. He showed up coming down off a Coke and or had been up all the night before, and he was like messing up lines and doing whatever. And Joel Schumacher was like, look, man, you're out. You're fired. You're gone. And he was gone. Days go by, and whomever had convinced him, like, look, give him another chance, give him another chance. Or even maybe he was just on the horn with Joel, like, look, I'm sorry. I won't fuck up again. And he didn't. He was clean and fine the rest of the thing.
He was what, 14, 15?
That's crazy.
Hey, cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, no, they were saying there's all those movies and stuff out now about the kids when they were growing up, these young kids in stardom, like they had them on drugs. They were taking
fast,
Molly.
man.
Yeah, they were going to sex parties and shit at like 14, 15.
Shit, yeah.
Doing drugs with producers. It was a whole scene.
I vividly remember reading an article, or, I was probably like 12, 13 at the time, with Drew Barrymore, who's around our age.
Yeah.
And
she's 40. Yeah, she's 48.
She was on the cover of like People or something. I don't know. And I remember thinking, wow, she's like beautiful. Like, cause I hadn't seen her since
Poltergeist
or E.T. when she was a little sister.
She was on 51st Dates.
No, but this is back when I'm like 13.
Oh, gotcha.
She was 14. an E.T.
And I remember looking like, man, she don't even look like my age. Like,
she grew up.
She looks so much older.
Right.
And you get into the article, and it was all about like the party she was going to, her like alcohol addiction, this and that. I'm thinking, she's like my age. Like, who goes to parties? Like, I remember thinking that as a kid, like, because I was interested in the article because I was like, oh, I remember her from that movie.
Right.
She used to party with like Punky Brewster.
Yeah, and I'm like, who hangs out with like 21-year-olds when you're 13, 14 years old?
Did.
But they
Soleil
do in Hollywood.
Moonfry.
Yes. Oh, she was another one later on.
I think she got a reduction.
Yeah, she looked good.
Yeah,
Punky
I was
Brewster.
like, yeah, Punky Brewster.
But these kids grow up quick, so that makes sense.
They did.
So I have a fun fact here on Santa Cruz, which, like we said, where they filmed it, actually was considered the murder capital of the world at one point because of 3 men there in the early 70s that were, doing some killing. Had John Lindsay Frazier, Herbert Mullen, and Edmund Kemper, who I'd like to cover someday.
Yeah, Edmund Kemper.
On the podcast. They 28 murders over 30 months between 70 and 73.
Dang.
So it was all in that area there.
So that's in reference to in the beginning part of the movie when they first show up, when the two boys show up with Lucy and the I guess it's Sam who says to his grandfather, "Hey, isn't this the murder capital of the world?"
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay.
Yep. So that actually really was legit for that area at one time.
I know Schumacher, right? The director.
Yeah.
He wanted a blonde to be the part of Jamie Gertz's
Yes, I did hear about that.
But there was a movie. Jason Patrick was actually like, you need to get this Jamie Gertz girl. There was Solar Babies. You guys remember that?
Yep.
no,
Ever
is that
hear
a
of it?
movie or
It's a movie. Yeah.
It's a movie.
And he was like, you need to check out this Jamie Gertz girl. I think she'd be perfect. And
sounds like an 80s toy, Solar Babies, like something you'd get put out in the sun and they would,
babies,
Yeah,
they
water.
make your dreams come true.
you add water, put them in on your like windowsill.
I like the
grow.
Muppet Babies reference.
Thank you, Zach.
Solar Babies was 86, I'm pretty sure.
I like adventure. I like romance. I love great jokes. Animal dance.
Yep.
What's that from?
Muppet Babies.
Muppet
Babies.
Babies. Oh shit,
I used to watch that before I went to school in the morning.
that must have came on after Jelly Bears.
No, it's Gummy Bears.
God
man.
Or
damn,
Gummy
come
Bears.
on.
That's what it was. Gummy Bears. We had Gunny Bears. You were
Yeah.
talking about
You had-
busting caps everywhere.
Busting caps. Gunny Bears. Nice.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
what morning cartoons did you watch there in Harrisburg, man?
I don't know. We didn't have like I do remember that now. Honestly, though, after we talked about that on the last podcast, I went in and looked at it. I'm like, oh, I do remember Jelly or Gummy Bears.
Jelly Bears.
Jelly Bears.
Killing me.
Gummy Bear. Yeah, I do
Yes,
remember
Gummy
that.
Bears.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Ugh.
Dave wasn't watching cartoons. He was
No.
watching the news to see who got murdered the night before.
Right.
Dave had one of those radios that you get the police channel
Police
scanners.
scanners, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, not going there today.
Yeah.
So we were talking about the two Coreys earlier. X number of movies they were in. Fun fact, this one was their first movie together.
They
Oh,
did what,
shit,
2 or
yeah.
3 more since
I
then.
did see that too. I
Yeah,
had
this
that.
was their first one. They became buddies because they weren't old enough to hang out and party with the older actors. So they just hung out together. Like
did
they'd
their
go
own
to the
thing.
arcade, they'd hang out in each other's rooms, like watching movies and shit.
Yeah.
So they became, friends thanks to the 3 weeks of filming this movie.
Yeah, I know that like Haim was up for one of the roles that felt I think it might have been the Goonies. And,
Correct. Corey Haim,
yeah.
he auditioned for the role that what's his name got, Mouth. He had applied to be Mouth, and Feldman got it.
So I'm sure a lot of roles they were going up against each other and stuff. But Feldman was definitely the more known at the time,
Yep.
I think it was The Lost Boys was after Peter Pan. That's why they named it.
Yes. Yeah, I did read about that. It was like a short
I
story or
didn't
an
piece
offshoot
that
of
together until I did the write up for this.
Oh, for
and I
real?
didn't
Yeah.
even read about that. Like,
Yeah.
I pieced this together like, holy shit, the Lost Boys. Well, that's the name of the group that hangs out with Peter Pan. Those are the guys that are on the, Land of Misfit Toys, wherever the hell they're at.
Oh wow.
Wasn't that the guy with the teeth, with the doctor?
Maybe. But they're these the Lost Boys. These are and they live forever. They just stay
Yep,
boys
they stay
forever.
boys forever.
I never ever pieced together the idea that vampires live forever, and these are young kids or younger, the Lost Boys. Huh? No shit.
Well, here's I know that you guys like some coulda, woulda, shouldas.
Yeah, I got two.
Go ahead. Who you got?
I got David.
Uh-huh.
Could have been Jim Carrey.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. That was nuts.
Well, he did that one movie with the
Once
vampire movie, Once Bitten.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to see him typecast.
Mm.
Let's see.
Who was the other one you had? Because I have 3 here, but
Max.
yeah.
So Max was played by the guy from Overboard, which is give me a second, Edward Herman.
Yeah.
Could have been Fred Gwynn,
Yeah. The Munsters.
the Munsters.
Dun, 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 dun.
Also the judge from My Cousin Vinny,
Yeah.
which
Yes.
I look forward to doing that one on this show.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
The only other one I had was, and they didn't say for which part, but Ben Stiller auditioned for.
Yeah, I
this
saw
movie.
that. Ben Stiller was supposed to be a lost boy.
Yeah.
The two Utes.
The 2 Utes.
The only one I got left is about Tim Capello, the beach singer guy. He's the one who he sang "I Still Believe" on the soundtrack, and he was actually in, for true to form, he was in Tina Turner's touring band. And when he's
Was
in,
it like Mad Max?
correct,
Yeah. Was it like a Mad Max theme?
he was in the band when she did the theme,
Thunderdome and shit.
Thunderdome. Yep.
Because he looked like one of them dudes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too. He reminded me of I don't know if we talked about it during that scene, but like when that band was playing, it reminded me of Weird Science. Like the dudes at the end and the chick that come into the party.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like if they were in a band, that's kind of the look they had.
100%. That's that Road Warrior look.
That's
That's
Road Warrior, yes.
that whole look of that group, that motorcycle group that came in at the end of Weird Science. That was based 100% on Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior.
The Road Warrior.
There was in this movie, they wanted to film at the very end. You know how like the Marvel and stuff now at the very end, everybody waits around?
For the very end.
Yeah. They were going to have, showing that there was going to be another one, they were going to have a camera go back into the little lair there. It was supposed to go back and down this cave, and they go through the cave, and then there was a painted mural at the back of the cave, which was Max, exactly how he looked in the movie.
Oh, so like he was like from back in the day.
Yeah, stating that
Oh.
they're going to have more to come, but they never did.
Why didn't they? That's a
I don't
shame.
know.
I was watching this movie, and I'd love to see something come out of this, like an origin story. Like, where did the four boys come from? Like, where was Kiefer Sutherland from? Could he have been some, I don't know, punk guy from New York, and he made his way to, California, and all of a sudden he got bit?
Yeah. Like
And
how-
where did Max come from? Could he have been from, the 1500s or wherever the hell? Like, who knows?
Yeah, right.
You don't
Origin
even know.
stories for a lot of these movies would be cool. And it's just moneymakers, too.
Right. Two other things I have, which we talked about in the beginning. The Emerson's truck was a 1968 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ55. Like I said, that thing's probably still running. Those things are legendary.
What was the blue convertible?
So that was a 1957 Ford Fairlane 500
Fairlane,
Skyliner.
yeah.
That Grandpa was driving around.
Did you are the one to notice this. Did you notice the vanity plate on the front of that Ford?
What was it? No, I didn't notice. What was it?
57 flip.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yep.
What's the flip for, you think?
It was convertible.
Oh, because of the
Flip top.
convertible. I got you. Yeah, so that's pretty much all the fun facts I have. You guys all done with fun facts. So I
All
guess,
done on Fun Fact.
I
Yeah.
guess it's a time where we'll do our rating.
Sure.
So we have late fee, return, or burn. Matt, it's your movie. You want to lead us off?
I would late fee this for that was my first late fee. I
Right.
might keep it an extra day, maybe like have some friends over or something.
I
Be like, you got to check this shit out.
Cool. Zap, you want to go? Or
I would return it, but I would watch the shit out of it.
yeah.
I would give it at least 2 back-to-back watches, maybe a third the next morning, but I would return it.
Yeah, for me back then, I'm returning it. Like I said, I talked about it in the beginning. I liked it in a way, but I wasn't like blown away by it back then. But I think it was a little too stylistic at the time for me. I did grow to like, I actually own it. So I do like it. But I'd probably return it at that point. Now it's putting me back in 88.
Yep.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
100%.
But yeah, I guess that's it. You guys have anything else in closing on this? No, you guys are good.
And this is also for our podcast. We could dress as the Lost Boys for
We could
for
pull
Halloween,
pull that off,
or just
Yeah.
start dressing like that like every day.
In general, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool look. That's a timeless look. I don't think it ever goes away. Like you could definitely dress like that now, and it would look all right. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying?
I would say go to the mall, but there's no malls left, so
Yeah.
I don't know where you would go.
Capital City on the West Shore.
Oh yeah.
So this was one off of our list on Facebook. We have a list of movies on Facebook where our listeners have been going on and adding movies. Lost Boys is one of them, so we're knocking that out. I picked one off of that list for next time. Is going to be Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So we're going to try to get back to listener input. What do you guys think on that?
I say please,
Let's
with
do it.
butter and cheese, let us know what you like.
Yeah,
Let us know what you'd like us to cover.
There's like probably about 20 movies on that list. Lost Boys, I think, was maybe one that's been on there for a while. So definitely go on our Facebook, Instagram, leave us a note, and leave us a movie to review.
Yeah, we can
start
start
knocking them out.
picking them off the list. That'd be fun.
Obviously on Spotify, Apple, you can leave us a review on Apple. Written review really helps. And I guess that's it for now. So we'll catch you where?
On the flip side,
If we don't see you sooner, we'll see you later.
peace. Thanks for listening to The Vintage Cinema Review in the Old Dirty Basement. If you dig our theme music like we do, check out the Tsunami Experiment. Find them on Facebook. Their music is streaming on Spotify and Apple, and where great music is available.
You can find us at Old Dirty Basement on Facebook and Instagram, and at Old Dirty Basement Podcast on TikTok.
Peace.
We Audi 5000.